Hello and welcome to another scrapbookpal.com video. This is Carrie Rhoades. I am very excited to be bringing you this video today because this is my first video with Scrapbook Pal as a member of their current design team. And I get to show you these fun projects that are not cards, featuring a new stamp set from Avery Elle called Cocoa Stand. You can see that this stamp set has a cute little stand in it that you can turn into a hot cocoa stand, a tree farm, or a sledding stand. And there's a cute little polar bear that can sit inside the stand and his little paws can hang over the edge. Plus it has a die set. I'm going to pair that with the Polar Pals Peekaboo stamp set. These are also images that you can only see the top of the animal, and it has all their little hooves or paws to go on the edge of something. Next, I am going to be using this fun die. It's the Treat Topper die in today's video. So let's get started by stamping out the images I need for my first project, which will be a gift tag that can also be used as an ornament. So we'll stamp those out with Lawn Fawn's jet black ink because I will be doing some Copic coloring. Now I forgot the little mug, so I'm just stamping that in before we get started with the coloring. Now I wanted you to really notice the coloring here on the wood parts of this stand. I'm using kind of a flicking motion coming out from where the wood planks either meet each other or meet the edge. And I'm starting with the lightest brown and then coming in with the medium and then the dark and then working my way in reverse. So from dark to medium to light. And again, just only using a flicking motion. This gives the wood lines, and those lines are what make it look more realistic, like wood grain. So that's what I'm doing here, and I will now go back to my medium color and then back to my light. You can see I've left a lot of white space, and I just gradually close in the gap on that. And when you do that, the middle part has the least amount of ink saturation, so it will automatically look lighter. Then I just went back with my medium and added a few more detail lines. And you can see this process a little bit better on this top wood plank because it's a little bit bigger section. And the photos at the end will also show you the detail that this wood plank has. So we'll finish that up, and then I'll bring in some other colors to shadow the snow. This is B00, and I thought it was just fun to use that for the snow instead of a gray as a shadow. And then I thought this stand would look great with some red accent. I didn't want it to be all wood. Maybe this is the part of the stand that they painted just to give it a little flash. So I used 3 shades of red on that. And I will also tell you that I am not quite a beginner Copic colorist, but pretty close. And so I just want you guys to know, if you are not an expert in Copic coloring, it's okay. Anybody can use these. You can just color solid with them. Just do 2 colors so you have a little bit of shading. It really is not that hard. And as you color more with your Copic markers, you're going to get better at it. And as you watch videos of those people who are amazing at Copic coloring, you'll learn some little tips, but you don't have to be a professional to make cute images come to life with your Copics. So I die cut all of those out, and I'm going to take 3 of the dies and die cut them again from a piece of lightweight chipboard. You could do this with another piece of cardstock if you wanted, and I'll show you how those are going to come into play in a little bit. But first, I wanted to stamp hot cocoa across the top of my stand with some clear pigment ink from Lawn Fawn, and then I'll go ahead and emboss that with white powder and melt that, and it just looks so great, the white contrast against that wood grain. All right, so now we can glue on our die cut pieces. I'm now gluing on the little strand of lights that I made in light blue. I love that color for lights. It's actually, we had only blue lights on the Christmas tree at my house for quite a while. So now we'll stick in the little bear. So I glued him to the back of the stand, and you can see that he's a polar bear. And in the Polar Pals stamp set, there is another bear, and they do look a little bit different. They have different noses, so you can tell this one's supposed to be a polar bear and that one's supposed to be more like a grizzly bear. Now I'm gluing his paws on the edge of the stand, and it looks so cute. Like he's just resting them right on the ledge there. It gives it a little bit of a 3D effect. I really love it. Think of all the things you could stick these bears on. So now we'll add my little cup of hot cocoa with the touch of pink. I love that. It goes great with this color scheme. Okay, so now I'm flipping this over. I'm taking those pieces that I die cut from lightweight chipboard and gluing them onto the back of what I already put there. This is supposed to be a tag, but when you Copic color, a lot of times the marker, every time the marker bleeds through the paper. So I wanted it to be white on the back. Now I'm going to add some twine, and this is the Lawn Fawn twine. It is so sturdy. I love this twine. If you haven't tried their twine, I highly recommend it. So I'm going to glue this on to the back of my tag. I got quite a long piece, and you'll see why it's so long. I'm going to put a little bit of strong tape there and lay my twine down, and that's going to be sandwiched in between the two layers of the cocoa stand. I wanted to make sure that I stamped on the back side of this before I glued it down, and I'm going to use the sentiment that says Happy Holidays right there at the top. And then I have the to and from, which is actually from the Polar Peekaboo stamp set, and that will go at the bottom. So now our tag has a sentiment and a to and from spot. Now my chipboard was a little glossy, so I wanted to make sure that red ink didn't smudge, so I'm heat setting it right here, and it's good to go. We can go ahead and glue that together with our other tag. It will help hold the twine in place and also make the back of our tag white. It's going to make it more sturdy so that when the recipient removes this tag from the gift, it could also be used as an ornament. All right, so we're going to let that dry, and then when we're done, we're going to bring in the gift, which is a jar of homemade hot cocoa. Hot cocoa is super easy to make. It's cocoa powder, sugar, and a pinch of salt. So I just filled a jar up with that, and then I'm going to wrap my twine around this a few times and tie it off in a bow. And there you have a great neighbor gift, a great teacher gift, maybe for the UPS man that brings you all your stamp goodies, right? Trimming off the excess there that I don't need. And then when I'm looking at this tag, I realized I need to add some little accents or highlights with a white gel pen. So I'll bring that in and add a highlight to each of the little Christmas lights and the mug, and that just helps those really pop. I love adding white gel pen accents to my Copic coloring. And then when I was doing that, I realized I never colored the nose of my polar bear. So I brought in one of my brown markers and just colored that in real fast. And that's that. So next we're going to be making our treat topper. So this is going to be a cocoa gift that's maybe just like a single serving. So we'll die cut that treat topper from some white cardstock, and we'll do some ink blending. So I have some tumbled glass here that I'm going to ink blend right in the middle of this treat topper. And I'm going to just saturate that a little bit more to really darken that color. And then the second color is Salty Ocean, and I'm going to go around the edge of this topper on all four sides, and that will just kind of give it that ombre look where it's from light to dark. This die does score the paper for you so that when you're ready to put this on the top of a bag, it is scored in half for you. I absolutely love that. Plus it has a cute little handle. So here we are with the edges all darkened, and now I'm going to go back to my tumbled glass and really blend those two colors together just by going back to my first color. So there we have it. It's pretty easy and quick to do, but I love that look. Now I'm going to take the clear shimmer spray from Avery Elle, and I'm going to spray this, so that's why it's in my splatter box. And I gave it about 3 squirts, and that stuff really comes out the bottle. So I got it a little bit thick, so I just dabbed it with a paper towel where it was super thick, but tried not to dab all the areas. So I got a little oxidation plus the shimmer. It's so cool. All right, so I've stamped out the critters that I want, colored them, and die cut them out. I also threw in a set of mugs, so each of these will hold their own hot cocoa mug. So you can see here I'm pairing the two sets together, the cocoa stand set and the Polar Pals set. And I kind of played with the colors so that the penguin has his blue scarf and his pink-red cup of cocoa, and then the opposite for the seal. And I just loved having these two critters hold the cocoa. I thought it was just super duper cute. So that right there is the penguin. And then for our little seal, we'll put his mug in the middle and then his flippers. So this stamp for the flippers is the same one that I used for the penguin. So it works really great for both. And there's a stamp to cut, or a stamp to stamp 2 flippers and 2 dies to die cut them. So you don't have to, I didn't have to do this 4 times, I only had to do it 2. It was awesome. All right, so now I'm stamping hot cocoa again with clear pigment ink and putting on some white powder, and I'll have a nice little, and it's not really a sentiment because it's going to tell you what's in the gift. So it's more like a label. So I embossed that. Now I am taking some mini snowflakes from the polar set, and then there's a tiny little circle from the cocoa stand set. I clustered them together, stamping this right over the top of my dried treat topper with the Salty Ocean ink. So it's kind of a tone on tone look, but then it's a little bit darker on top of that Salty Ocean. And, oh no, Tumbled Glass is the light color. Sorry. So we'll just finish stamping that around. I like to turn my stamp each time I stamp it to give it more of a random look. Now my hot cocoa sentiment was not going to fit on there all the way across, so I just stamped it into 2 separate sections because I'm going to put my little animals on either end and the sentiment in the middle. So we'll go ahead and glue those down. I'm going to have them cover up that zigzag edge so it looks like they're just popping up. If the zigzag showed, I felt like it might look a little wonky. So I'm having them cover that up, and I feel like they are so adorable. I love little critters. It's kind of my thing. So we'll glue on our sentiment now, or our label. That's what we decided. It was a label. And then I have this tiny little candy cane, also from the hot cocoa stand set, that I'll put right there to fill in that gap. And I just love how this turned out. So before we put hot cocoa in the bag, I have my white StazOn pad. And this is an ink pad that you want to just add ink to each time that you use it. That's why it comes with a refill and this little spreader. So I just spread out a little bit of ink, and then I'm going to stamp Happy Holidays from the Polar Pal set at the bottom of this bag. So this ink is made to stamp on plastic and glass. It's a permanent ink. Make sure you clean your stamp off right away when you ink with that ink. Now I'm going to put about 4 tablespoons into this clear cellophane bag of my hot cocoa mix, and I did 4 because 2 tablespoons is a serving. There's 2 critters on here, so I felt like it really needed to have 2 servings in it. Now I'm going to put some of these really cute jet puffed mini marshmallow bits, and I just think they're adorable, even though you'll put this hot cocoa to cook in with milk right away, so they'll probably melt, but it's so cute in the bag. So I folded that over. I'm going to staple it shut, and then next I will get my topper ready to go. And then this, oh, before I staple it on, I wanted to stamp the to and from on the back of this as well. So the same to and from that is from the Polar Pal set, and that is in the Lobster ink by Fawn. What a great red that is. Oh, love it. All right, so we'll staple the bag to the back of the topper. So the staples are only going to show on the back, and then I'll use a strong adhesive on the front to close that topper down onto my bag. Just like that. And that finishes up both of my hot cocoa little gifts, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. I know I had so much fun making this, and I know that these would be the kind of gifts I would give to neighbors, teachers, friends, and just brighten somebody's day even. So I hope that you've felt inspired, and maybe you'll give some handmade gifts with some super cute tags this year. Thank you so much for watching, and please come back and check out more scrapbookpal.com videos very soon. Happy stamping! Bye!